All right, looks like we're recording up here again. All right, hey, how's it going, everybody? We're back here with another quarterly update. Um, I was gonna wait till I think they paid out the dividends. I think they do it around like the 15th or the 10th, but I got some stuff coming up, so I won't be able to do an update anytime this month soon. So here we go. This is the first quarter of 2022. As you guys can see, there's been a lot of changes going on with the account um, since the last 3 months that I made a update. Shit, there's been a lot of stuff going on in the world in the last 3 months, right? So, it's amazing, man, what can happen in a short amount of time. But, we'll start with the normal stuff, man. I usually go over the overview. We'll touch on transactions, performance, and then a portfolio. And then we'll go over my goal tool. And there's another tool in here I actually want to show you guys. It's the Fundrise calculator. So it's a pretty awesome calculator. So we'll go over that. But so right now, the four things I focus on is remaining debt free, getting my emergency fund, increasing my income, and increasing my savings rate. These are the four things that I think it's all you need for finance, man. I think a lot of people like to use a lot of word salad to make it seem like more than what it actually is, but at the end of the day, your results will also, will always tell. So, sitting at 335,000. My net returns to date are 61,000. Premium account level and the balance investing plus plan. As far as my returns for today, for 2022 is 2,200. Appreciation is 8,300. Zero advisory fees, and so far for the first quarter, I made over $10,000. When we're looking at all time, we're looking at 18,000 in dividends, 4,200 for appreciation, and then a little over $200 for advisory fees, and then putting us at that 61,000 for net returns today since I joined them back in 2017, November of 2017. So, we've come far, man. The platform has come far. So far, I got over 248 active projects, and it's getting there. Everybody should have got their taxes. I actually completed my taxes, and I made a couple moves based off of what happened with my taxes, and I'll show you guys that in transactions. The new interval fund is now here. They changed that name, like I want to say 3 times. I think it was first called the income interval fund, and now it's just the income fund. And then the original interval fund got changed to the flagship fund. So we'll go in here and see if it changed again, but it's more simple now, if anything. But as far as projects, they put out another podcast you guys should go check out. It's pretty legit. Almost every month they've been acquiring new projects, and Fundrise has been setting up this new deal with what's it called? What is the place called? Let me see what it's called. Yeah, Saltbox. So the Fundrise eFund is changing up their strategy, right? So it's something that I think is a good ideal. I think it's going to yield higher returns in the future. So, we'll sit tight for that and see what happens. But what else we got going on? I think that's it for like the news feed. But we'll go over to transactions because there's been a lot of movement in my transactions, right? So you guys already know, I made my contribution at the end of November, it was like 145,000. This was me basically taking all my money out of Wealthfront. You know, I came to the decision that Wealthfront was a trash company, donated to suspicious organizations, but and I didn't really know where to put that money, so I just threw it into Fundrise. January, I didn't report this in my update because I thought the chart, usually the chart for 2021 disappears, but Fundrise actually changed that. So the chart was there for about, actually up until yesterday, the chart just disappeared, and now it's showing 2022's chart now. So, but yeah, I got about 1,600 in dividends, and this is mainly due to me putting this lump sum at the end of it. So 20,000. That's my next biggest contribution. That was in February. This was money originally saved for taxes. Now I don't know what type of calculation, what type of like voodoo I was trying to do, but I sure as hell did not need that much money for taxes. Actually didn't pay a lot at all. So once again, I had a lot of money left over, and I was like, screw it, do it in the Fundrise. So next thing that's going up is the merge, right? So if you guys have been part of any of these E-REITs, most of it got sold off, and they all went into the income fund. So I want to say this is like my second largest fund now. So let me see if this shows anything. Yeah, it just shows 5,300 shares. So yeah, that is what it is, right? We'll go to performance, see what's happening over there. Yeah, so the chart I was saying, like, I think up until like yesterday, it showed the chart for 2021. And I was going to make another update because I showed you guys an update that before they did so what happened was the interval fund updated their NAV towards the end, like I want to say maybe 2,200 on the 31st. So it was a lot higher than what I showed you guys. So let me see. I think I showed you guys like that or whatever. It was like 291 or something. It was actually 304,000 on the first. But I wasn't going to do another video, man. I was like, screw it. So let's see what we got so far for the first quarter. So it was pretty good, man. 3%. Pretty solid, man. Pretty solid. Usually the first quarter is the lowest one. So, and again, I say this in all my videos because, there's still people, the gamblers I would call them, not investors, but gamblers that try and chase returns rather than focusing on like their actual account value. And, some people will see 3% and say, ooh, I can do better in Bitcoin, right? But, whatever percentage of nothing is still nothing, right? If you're trying to invest with $10, doesn't matter what type of return you get, it'll still be nothing. So, and that's not to throw shade on anybody, but actually it is to throw shade on people because if all you can invest is $10, you should probably focus more on getting out of debt and increasing your income. So, but we'll show you guys the dollar amount so far. Some of the heavy hitters were the growth ones, like always. Heartland, obviously the flagship fund, so that gave me about $7,000 just for the first quarter. And then everything that got merged out. So I want to say once these dividends pay out, I think these are going to disappear, putting me at $10,000. So for 3 months, $10,000. All right. We're 2 days into the second quarter, so I'm at 34. So what is that, like $17 and some change? So here's the thing about the dividends, man. And I'll show you guys on my income tool. But the dividends will fluctuate depending on what Fundrise has going on with some of the properties. Maybe they're acquiring new properties. Maybe they had to reinvest some of it for other expenses. They tell you a lot of this information in your documents. So if the only way you're getting information is to watch a random YouTuber, you are what I consider to be a gambler and not an investor. So make sure you're reading, right? Do your own research. But yeah, so the dividends definitely have dropped, but it's probably because it's being reinvested into something else. As far as like the returns for the previous year, I don't know what I showed you guys on the 31st. I got to go back and look. But again, the interval fund updated around 2200 that night, and I think I did that video in the morning. So it left me at 30 grand for 2021 and not whatever I showed you before. All right, so my favorite chart right here. The goal is to get to 400,000 by December, right? So 400,000 by 31 is the goal. We'll see what happens though. Let me open these up real quick, and you guys can pause this if you want. But yeah, as you guys can see, man, I don't take anything from this account. And while we're on that subject, a lot of people ask me how long would it take to pull this money out. So if you read your documents, Fundrise for certain E-REITs, they try to, or actually for the interval fund, they have to repurchase up to 5% of the shares each quarter. So I mean that's one indication. Now, as far as like how long it would take to get all this money, I don't know, dude. I mean, maybe throughout the course of a year, right? And I think they can only, when you look at the total fund of the interval fund, they can only go up to 25%. So, you know, who knows? Maybe I can get it all in one quarter. Maybe it takes them 2 quarters to pay me all back. Either way, man, the intent is not to touch this money, right? And I'm not sure what it is with people asking about the liquidity. Like, do you ask that to the bank when you want to sell your house? How long would it take you to sell your house? I would think the same applies here, right? If anything, I have more liquidity than the house you borrow from a bank. So I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how long it would take. I know Wealthfront took 2 damn weeks, and that's supposed to be liquid, right? Wealthfront took like damn near 3 weeks to pull all my money out, and that was in the stock market during quote good times, right? So like November or October, I took the money out. So I don't know, man, how long it would take me to get this money out, but it's not. As you can see, man, I haven't taken money out since I've been with this company. So I would probably either 1, stop investing if I needed money, 2, take a dividend, or 3, use my emergency fund. But the goal is not to touch the investments. So so far though, I put in 20 grand this year. For total contributions, I'm thinking 30 or 40. If it is 30 or 40, it might be lump sum. We'll see though. We'll see how it turns out. What else we got to go over? Oh, portfolio. So, like I said, man, you know, once these pay out, once the dividends pay out on these should disappear. and it'll only be, you know, I won't have to scroll down basically anymore. So, obviously the top one being the flagship fund, cost basis 145, and we're sitting at 161. Next highest is the income fund, and then Fundrise E Fund, and then we got our OGs down here. So, and then the up and coming ones. As far as like any more mergers, man, I don't see any more mergers happening with Fundrise. Um, if it does, it does, but I don't necessarily see it um, happening. So we'll go into these new ones. We'll go into the interval fund. So right now I have 12,000 shares. Current price is at $13.34. So far, I've been paid $766 in dividends. And then, like you see, man, like the majority of that comes from appreciation. So 15,000 in appreciation so far. So, this one's a heavy hitter, man. Like I said, I see this jumping up easily, man, to 20 by the end of the year, maybe 25. So, and then you can do a calculation on what that would be. I'm at the point where I could probably stop putting money in here. So, plus this one has the most liquidity in there. So, for people that are trying to get their money out, your best shot would be this one. So, which I think they put most people money in here anyway. Let's go to this new one though. All right, so we had a current NAV price of $10. Okay, so this is like new, so there won't be much stuff you can get from this. When we look at the actual dividend on here, it's like 5%. So, yeah, man, I think that's about it, man. I think that's about it. We'll head back over to the overview, show you guys my goal tool. So if you guys haven't noticed by now, man, the goal is to get $10,000 a month in income, and this is part of a larger plan. So my military pension will be another pillar of cash, basically. And there's pros and cons with both of these, right? Both of them require an account value of at least 2.3 million. And the pros of a military pension is it never runs out. It gets adjusted for inflation, and it literally stays there until I die, really. The cons of a military pension is they don't necessarily increase. I think they do like an increase every decade, other than it being adjusted for inflation. I think they do like a increase every decade, I think, from what I read. But that's it, man, right? If you're debt free, it's not a problem. If you're like most service members, unfortunately, that decide to get married, divorced 3 times, child support, alimony, they got a new house, they got a brand new kid, they got a new car. It ain't gonna be me, man. But if you do it right, you should be able to do whatever the hell you want to do for the rest of your life. But we are not exempt from being wiped off the map, regardless of if we serve or not. So the pros and cons of developing a pension from Fundrise is I could lose all my money. Or no, sorry, the pros are I can increase it, right? I can increase it by either adding more money or fluctuating how much I take out, right? If I want less dividends, I'll just take from the principal amount. If I want more dividends, I'll add more money. The pros or the cons are obviously I can actually lose this investment, right? But Fundrise has been pretty stable at protecting the principal amount, right? So, and that's what's important is to protect your principal amount. And this is why I tell you guys your savings rate is more important than your returns because I put in 274,000 of my own cash, right? I'm not sitting here putting in chump change, crying about returns, right? So you actually need to put in work because there's no investment in America that's going to make you a hero, regardless of what your favorite YouTubers tell you. But as far as the actual amount, I make about $600 a month. So this has been declining since January. I want to say in January it was like 800, February was like 740, and now it's like 643. If we zoom in, we're looking at the actual. Now again, I'm not butthurt about this, right? It's remember we're looking at long term, right? In 15 years, it'll be a problem if 10 years go by and this still says $600, right? So, again, if you're hurting for cash, you probably shouldn't be investing. You should probably focus on getting out of debt and increasing your income. That's the fastest way you can get cash, not by investing. So, other than that, man, I think I'm doing everything I should be doing. I added that lump sum of 20 grand. That's why you see all this. No. Yeah. Actually, no. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think that's why you're seeing this. Yeah. So, this table, though, is completely off. Unless I'm reading it wrong. It's completely off. Right? I'm not making 1,800. So, there's one more thing I want to show you guys, and it was this calculator down here. I don't know when this showed up, but I logged in the other day and I saw it. Pretty cool calculator, man. It's one of those, calculators I think you find online or somewhere, which you would think finding a calculator like this would give you the, obvious answer to how much you should have. But for some reason, it's still confusing to some people. Now, I plan to live to 100. Right? I want to live to see 100 years old. I don't know about y'all. Some of y'all don't want to live past 30 for some reason. At least you guys don't invest like you want to live past 30 or 40. But I actually want to live to 100. But there's no point in looking that far out. We've already seen how much can change in 1 year. You've seen how much can change in 3 months. Looking this far out is pointless. So what I focus on is the 30s, right? Dirty 30s, right? Because I just turned 30 not too long ago. So 39, 40 is my limit, because at that point, that's when I retired from the military. So this is the furthest that I would look out. All right, I'll look out maybe 10 years at a time. So, and again, you can only imagine the amount of nonsense that's going to happen within this time frame. But now that I got my limit, right, my LOA, we can adjust this. So right now, I'm putting in like $1,000 a month, but the reason I'm putting in $1,000 a month because I already put a lump sum of like 20 grand in, so there's no need to continue like with this high, monthly investment if I already put in the majority of what I'm going to throw in for the year. So, I mean, I can, boost it up to 2,000, but all that does is enable this option right here where you can just update auto invest. So I think this tool is mainly to get you to like start auto investing, So, but it's still cool nonetheless, man. But yeah, this is what I'm doing so far. So, and yeah, man, I think that's it for the update, man. Like I always tell you guys, man, like first thing you gotta do, man, get out of debt, get your emergency fund. I can't stress enough how important it is to increase your income, but you need to make more money, bro. There's no way around it. I get that you want to do something that makes you happy, but no, the world doesn't care what makes you happy. No one's required to ensure that your happiness comes first, right? Just for you to work, for you to be able to eat, all right? So it's gonna be all right. Put in more hours. You're gonna be okay. You're not gonna have you're gonna be okay. Um, Last but not least, you need to have a high savings rate. I look at the savings rate here on YouTube, and it's weird, right? The lower the account, the more technical the YouTuber becomes, right? There's a lot of people that use a lot of word salad, right? A lot of technical terms, with an account less than like 100 grand. To me, like this is nothing, right? Because I'm starting to realize how powerful $1 million is. Even when we look at this calculator again, like you can notice, right? So let's go to let's go to the first time I hit a million, or let's go to 35. How much do I need to donate before I get to a million at 35? $5 grand a month, right? And these are like conservative numbers, right? I get it. The professional YouTubers out there can get an 8,000% return every year, right? I get it. We got professionals in 2022, right? But for the average, it's like 7 to 12%, median 9%, all right? 5,000. And what this says is for the majority of your investing life cycle, you need to put in the money. And it's not till you hit $1 million when this actually starts to grow. So if we go back to what we were originally doing, which is at 1,000, and then we just wait it out, we'll hit it at 40. But look what happens once we hit $1 million, right? And then we start to increase the amount. It becomes a lot easier for our money to grow, right? Over that $1 million, man. That's the key, man. The $1 million is the key, bro. And I'm at the point in my life where I don't take people seriously, man, unless their goal was $1 million or they have $1 million. Because there's a lot of people on the internet that, in my honest opinion, are quitters. And it's not enough for them to quit. They have to convince you to quit. Because a quitter doesn't like to be alone, right? So if you guys want to quit, by all means, go right ahead. But I can assure you that those gas prices won't go down. Your rent won't go down. The food won't go down, right? And all that means is America is trying to push you out, and it's going to replace you, right? The vice president said it herself. She's got hella visas coming in, so I would just consider that before you think about quitting. All right, that's the end of the Fun Rides update. If you guys still want to stick around, sure. If not, be easy, bro. All right, so for anybody looking for an example of what I used to get started in investing and kind of give me a roadmap on where I go, Dave Ramsey is like should be the first place you start. There's a lot of professionals, once again on YouTube, that will tell you don't do it. Instead, follow the rest of the sheeple and listen to the three shepherds of YouTube, of finance, which is uh, Steph Graham, the Meat Kevs, and that Andre guy. Right? Those are the three shepherds to lead the majority of sheeple, right, down the path of entertainment, not down the path of like wealth building, right, and having you take control of your life, but entertainment. Because when you watch those individuals, nothing changes in your life. Maybe they made you feel good about yourself for 1 second, but that faded. These individuals are actually helping people. They've been doing it for 25 plus years. Right? So this is the guy you want to go to, man. He has hundreds, if not thousands, of examples of people calling in, right? And it's all free, man, right? The next person is Robert Kiyosaki. And these are in this order, by the way, right? If you try and watch these guys in a different order, there's a good chance you're going to end up in a worse situation than you're already in. So the first guy you should go to is Dave Ramsey. The next one is Robert Kiyosaki. And Rich Dad, Poor Dad, obviously, is the number one go-to. He tells you exactly what's an asset and a liability. Tells you your house is worthless and you spend more money than you actually make. And he's a good, guide to lead you around finance. The last person is Grant Cardone. Like I said, man, like if you're not proficient with these two, you'll get screwed over listening to this guy. Now, don't get me wrong, I like Grant. I really like Grant. Lately, he's been having some, fire content, but this is an advanced level, right? So he has a couple of talks that he did with DJ Vlad. I would look at those talks. Those really helped me like answer some questions that I had. Yeah. And when he does like these streams right here. But yeah, man, like I would go watch the interviews he did with DJ Vlad. Yeah, I think he did like 4 interviews. They're all like an hour long, but good stuff, man. Good stuff. And I think that's it, man. I think that's it. So, if you guys got any questions, man, just hit me up in the comment section. Freaking, I think my next update I do is either in June or July. I think that's when I usually do one. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see what the world looks like. We'll see if I'm even here. Yeah, man. That's all I got. Millennials.